I work at CM Company. We're a construction manager, general contractor. I am the vice president, and I have worked there for 25 years. So I kind of facilitate the project management role. And so, like a lot of what we do, we're responsible for the construction of the building, but we're generally involved pretty early on. So we also get to be involved in the design phase and work with the ownership team to come up with, budgets and schedules and feasibilities and making sure that everything is being planned and coordinated in the right way so it's as efficient as possible. There's a lot of variety. So oftentimes I spend most of my day in the office and am helping with marketing and interviewing people to working on complex problems on a project and or developing things like schedules or working with clients to figure out, their approach to their design and collaborating in the pre-construction process. So it really covers a pretty wide swath of things, I guess. And then, of course, there's also like today, I spent the majority of my day out on a job site, so was in a lot of meetings, but then also got to walk the job and see the job progress and work on quality control issues, figure out and solve problems that were occurring on site. I kind of didn't know, and then I went to a career fair and went to the architecture talk with a friend of mine who was interested in architecture. And I was kind of surprised because it really piqued my interest. And so initially I started looking into architecture, thought it was really intriguing. But it's involves a lot of art. And art is not necessarily my forte per se. And so I decided to go more down the path of engineering and started out in the civil engineering field. And I liked it, but I didn't love it. And it was just a really broad field. And then I heard about the construction management program actually through my mom. Started working as a concrete laborer when I was 19 and still going to school, and did that for a couple of years in college, which I think was a really beneficial thing for me. And then transitioned into like an internship. And then when I graduated, it transitioned into a project management role. There's a lot of different ways you could end up in my position, I think, in construction. It's a little bit unique in that way. The way I did it was I ended up getting a construction management degree from Boise State. And I think that's probably the fastest way for a young person to get into kind of that management role pretty quickly. I really think that it's realizing the lasting impact on the community and things like that, and getting the opportunity to build like high schools, and then seeing the first class go through and know that those kids are going to remember that school for the rest of their life. That's a pretty cool thing. And so it makes it special and fun to be a part of. I think you need to be a really strong communicator. I think you need to have a lot of critical thinking and be a problem solver, especially if you can do that in a calm manner, and be able to think through complex issues, and really be able to be organized, being able to manage schedules and budgets and adapt when priorities shift is really important. I think having a level of emotional intelligence is really important in the sense that you're working with a lot of different personalities, and they cover a really broad spectrum of people. And then I think you got to have some grit. I think you got to be willing to work hard, and be resilient and be flexible, and but be, consistent and present, and be somebody that people can rely on. And and be respectful. You really don't have to have it all figured out. It's okay to not know. And if even if you think don't become so tunnel vision that you're not still exploring other options, because there's so many cool things you can do. And so don't feel like you have to have it all figured out. Stay curious, but push yourself and get outside your comfort zone and do the things that scare you. I think those are really important things to not just do at that point in your life, but do throughout your life, just to continue to learn and grow and change and just have a well-rounded life as a whole.